And welcome everybody to another edition of the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, and it's great to have you guys here on this Thursday, December 12th. We have a lot to talk about on the show today. Before I get into that, just want to remind you guys, as always, to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. Makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate your guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So, let's get into what we are going to discuss for today. So, usually on a Thursday, I open up with the Thursday Night Football matchup. I preview that. Well, that's actually going to be moved to the second part of the show because yesterday it was made official that Bill Belichick was hired by North Carolina to become their next football coach. And it's pretty surprising, pretty significant. For me, I just thought that maybe he would go back to the NFL, but maybe there was not going to be an offer out there for him, so he ends up going to the collegiate level and going to North Carolina. So we'll get into that discussion in just a second. So yes, in the second part of the show, we will preview tonight's game between the Rams and the 49ers. That's a big matchup, playoff implications involved in that. Two NFC West teams trying to keep pace with the Seahawks in that division. And then we'll also talk about Mike Tomlin, his comments on Saquon Barkley, calling him the most significant move of the offseason. So we'll talk about that, his comments there. Also just talking about some of the other moves, some of the other significant moves of the offseason, and talk about, is Saquon the most significant move, which we'll get into that discussion. Then we'll also talk about the Eagles even more. We'll talk about A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, that little situation that's going on there, and whether that should be a big deal or not. I know we talked about it earlier this week. We talked about some comments made by Brandon Graham, but I just wanted to get into that again. And then also talk about Sam Darnold. And, what should the Vikings do at the end of the season? What's going to end up happening? So we'll, because you got J.J. McCarthy coming back next year. How is that situation going to play out? So let's get into the first topic, which is talking about Bill Belichick and his next endeavor, and that is becoming the head coach of UNC. And again, it's a very interesting move because I all along thought that I always thought he was going to be back in the NFL. Now, I might have been in the minority. I just thought that a team would give him a chance to coach at that level, and maybe that wasn't the case. Maybe there wasn't anything that was that intriguing, or maybe there just wasn't going to be a team that was going to give him that chance. And now he's going below the NFL. He's going back to, not going back to college. He's going to college. He's never had a college job. This marks his first job at the collegiate level. So he agreed to a 5-year deal, pending approval. Mac Brown, the outgoing coach, earned $5 million annually in the same position. So it is interesting. And, Bill Belichick, of course, this is huge just because he's arguably the greatest head coach of all time. 6 Super Bowl championships, 3 AP NFL Coach of the Year awards. He has the most Super Bowl appearances, playoff wins, and division championships. Total 49 years of coaching in the NFL. And he has a total of 330 wins, which is 14 short of Don Shula's all-time record, which, many people looked at that and said, he wants to try to break that, but maybe he's not going to. And, again, this is a new endeavor for him, and obviously the college game has changed with all the NIL deals and things like that. And how is he going to handle, the recruitment process, transfer portal, all of that? It's going to be something to pay attention to. That makes North Carolina, something, a team to keep an eye on next year. And it's not like he went to Alabama. It's not like he went to an SEC school like Alabama or, the Big Ten or, no, he went to an ACC team in North Carolina where they are a basketball school. You would associate them more with the basketball school. Now, Drake May is playing for his former team, the Patriots, and that's where Drake May went. So, maybe Belichick puts the football program, back on the map, and, they become a successful team with him. So it's going to be interesting how that all unfolds. But it was kind of funny because I did see, the clip of, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, and Rob Gronkowski talking about it on Fox because they were asked about it. And, they were kind of joking around on, the hypothetical of Belichick trying to recruit an 18-year-old. Yeah, it's new territory. And is he going to be able to handle it? And he has spent, this past year outside of the game, at least, well, off the sidelines at least. But, he's been everywhere. He's on the Pat McAfee show, the Manning cast, inside the NFL. He's doing all these different things. And you wonder, did that time away from the game help him out? Is he going to maybe change his philosophy a little bit? Because now you're not coaching grown men. You're coaching college students. And I think there's going to be, maybe a little bit of a tweak. There's going to be a different way of doing things there. Now, I thought what was interesting, because Tiki Barber brought this up on his radio show, is that North Carolina will become more appealing because, there might not be that learning curve if you go to North Carolina of going from college to the NFL. Because Bill Belichick, again, the resume speaks for itself. You're going to know what the NFL is all about before you even get there if you go to a team in North Carolina where you have Bill Belichick. So that might make it appealing for some students, players that want to go there. So that is a good point. You'll know what it's all about, and obviously Bill Belichick. Like I said, the resume speaks for itself. He could put you in a good position to, get drafted. But then there's also the other side where this doesn't work out, and and this kind of falls flat, where he kind of sticks to his old methods, and players don't respond to that, and it just the program suffers because of it. There's definitely two sides to it. I would lean more towards this being a good thing for the program, just because it's Bill Belichick. And I think that maybe this time away from the game did help him. And maybe he's got to, adapt to how the game is now, the college game is. So, I think it is a good hire. It definitely creates buzz. It definitely creates excitement. I don't really know how people at UNC feel, but I'm sure there's definitely a group that is happy about it, and then maybe there's some that are a little skeptical of it. But it's Bill Belichick. And, for me, I hope he does find success there, and I hope he does build up that program. And, maybe he does get another chance in the NFL at some point. But, there's not a lot of time to do that. So, maybe this is the final stop. And then he calls it quits. But definitely an interesting move. And like I said, that is a team going into next year that, people are going to pay extra attention to because of who's coaching on the sidelines. Now, might not be a quick turnaround where this team is, going to be in the college football playoff, which, it's definitely possible now with how the playoff is, the new format. It's 12 teams. So, you got more of a chance to make it. But it depends on how quick, Belichick can turn this program around. And, we'll have to see what happens. But it's going to be new territory for him. And how is he going to respond to it? But, listen, if if you're a college and you had the opportunity to get Bill Belichick, he's interested. I mean, yeah, give it a shot, see what happens. And that's what UNC did. Belichick was interested in the job, and let's see what he does. So I'm happy that he got this job, and let's see how it all goes. But that's why, listen, I was going to open up with this. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles, this new endeavor. So, but that's why I opened up with this instead of Thursday Night Football, because this is a big deal. Like I said, could this be the end of his time in the NFL? Is he going to get another chance? I mean, maybe it looks like it. Or maybe the openings weren't that appealing to him. I mean, because all we heard was it could be an NFC East team. The Jaguars, I know, there were some rumors about that. But, it looks like at least the Eagles, Nick Sirianni staying there. Commanders are fine with Dan Quinn. I mean, the Giants might stick with Dable. If they don't, they might, make another move. But they probably are not going to bring in Belichick. Cowboys, I mean, the way Jerry Jones is talking, Mike McCarthy might be staying there. So Belichick probably just, if there was no offers, then next best thing, if you're getting offers from college, you go for it. But maybe there was an offer out there and it wasn't that appealing. So, but that's my thoughts on this. Again, this is a huge deal, and again, North Carolina, that's going to be a team to keep an eye on next year. But let me know what you guys think about this move. Do you like this for Belichick? Do you like this move for UNC as well? Let me know in the comments. So we are going to take our first break of the show now. When we come back, we will talk about the Thursday night game. We'll preview that between the 49ers and the Rams. So make sure to stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.